Looking for these better days.
It is Wednesday, January 7th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. A big-time head coaching candidate is available in the NFL, not to many people's surprise. The playoff trench report is out here on Wednesday morning. We'll give you a little teaser here on this podcast. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. And Mac, we start with the breaking news yesterday in the NFL. John Harbaugh out as Ravens head coach. This was something that I think a lot of people speculated could happen, but it doesn't seem real until it actually does happen. Like, we could talk about it all we want. Yeah, I think it's time for them to move on. Yeah, change for change's sake, all that stuff. But it doesn't seem actually like it was going to get done until it actually did get done yesterday, and John Harbaugh and the Ravens parted ways. What did you make of it?
The timing is not shocking to me. I even mentioned on yesterday's show, like, Harbaugh could be gone. I feel like he deserves his own day. So Black Monday, you get rid of the, short-term coaches, but this is an institutional change. This is a big deal. 18 years, 3 playoff wins since 2015. I get it. I think that's a little misleading because 3 different times they got a free playoff round advance because they were the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed back in the day. Since 2015, he's gone over his win total 6 out of 10 times on an average all 10 years. It's been a plus 0.9, so almost a win better than expectations. I was listening to Locked On Ravens driving in today, and it's like, well, I'm glad we had to do something. Something's got to be better than this. I'm not sure that just something is better than John Harbaugh as an NFL head coach.
It's like, who are you going to bring in now? Like, we always...
Yeah, you opened the show saying this is a big coaching candidate. I think it's the bigger coaching job. This is the best job by a million miles.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, when you want to fire a coach, it's a 2-part equation. It's, okay, should you fire the coach, yes or no? But the other part is, well, who are you hiring? And yeah, I get it, like change for change's sake, right? You needed a new voice in the room. Like Todd Monken's probably gone as well as the offensive coordinator. You're just going to clean house there, right? Especially because Todd Monken was already being rumored of being gone. Like, he was trying to explore other opportunities. I think the Browns might be interested in bringing him in as the head coaching interview. But the question is now, like, who do the Ravens hire? Who do you bring in? You have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews on the tail end of his career. Like, you have a legit roster that is ready to win a Super Bowl next year.
You have a roster that was Super Bowl favorites this year. That was road favorites at Buffalo week 1. It felt like they turned it on too late, but I still think you're right. This is a very talented roster. So somebody posted these odds. I don't know if they're being taken, maybe one of those content promoters, but here are the names being mentioned anyway. Cliff Kingsbury, who just got fired or moved on from the Commanders.
He didn't get fired. Like, he knows that he's going to be a candidate for somewhere. Like,
because it wasn't the defense that the Commanders had a problem with. The Kingsbury offense over the last 2 years was very impressive.
Yes.
Brian Flores is a name. Kevin Stefanski is a name. Clint Kubiak of the Seahawks. Jim Schwartz of the Browns. And Robert Saleh. A lot of people in 49ers land think that's a natural fit. Thinking, as I mentioned on the Monday show, Lamar Jackson was at his best Sunday night without a script, when he was almost tackled by 2 Steelers, when he was spinning around. So maybe offensively, you can go to a little more Lamar ball, and you bring in a defensive coach like Mike McDonald was as a coordinator, and that becomes your identity. You can score 25 points just because you have Lamar Jackson. And if you can hold teams to 20, you win games.
Well, to that point, I saw a book release, the 2 favorites at the top of the list.
Chris Shula, Jesse Minter?
Chris Shula and Jesse Minter, yep, the defensive coordinators in L.A. So Chris Shula, the Rams defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, the Chargers defensive coordinator. So to that point, you bring in a defensive coach to kind of give that Baltimore hard-nosed defensive mentality, and then you just let Lamar cook on offense.
Is any draftee recently been accused of murder? I feel like that's what's going to change Baltimore history. Obviously, that's a Ray Lewis dig, but hey, he got acquitted. So
yes, he did. Although they never found the suit. So
really.
The other side of this now with Harbaugh being a free agent is why haven't the Giants hired him already? Like
It
like
seems like a natural pairing. They
like
already tried a special teams guy. Like they tried John Harbaugh light with Joe Judge. Yeah, I can see that happening.
everyone's just screaming for it. It's like why is this guy not being hired by the New York Giants right now? Like he is the number one head coaching candidate out there. You want to win a Super Bowl, you bring in a guy like John Harbaugh.
Very rarely do you get a chance to have a Super Bowl winning head coach. I remember doing this study to defend my guy Mike Shanahan, my uncle. But the majority of Super Bowls, I believe, at least at that point, had been won by people that had been in Super Bowls or won Super Bowls.
Yeah, and John Harbaugh is the instant betting favorite to be the next head coach of the New York Giants. So
Is there even is he minus money, or is there a second contender that's worth noting?
I mean, there's a lot of contenders. Like Kevin Stefanski was a contender. He was on the list as well. Harbaugh is also. I mean, he's the favorite to get every job. But the Titans, like, would Harbaugh go coach the Titans? Would he coach the Browns? Oh my
He's
goodness!
a very similar career to Sean Payton, who turned around the Broncos, who hadn't won a playoff game in 10 years. Now
Yeah.
they're the number one seed. So bringing in a guy like that makes sense.
Could you imagine if he coaches the Browns?
I could. I feel like I don't know.
I'm just saying, with all
As
with
Fez
all the
says, they
synergy,
always lose. I feel like you can't change that
Yeah.
fate of Roundham, but maybe
I'm just
somebody
thinking,
could.
I'm just thinking, like with the
It's
whole
like a sword in the
synergy of
stone.
the Browns being the Ravens, and then the Ravens being the Browns, and then Harbaugh going to coach the Browns.
I
Like,
didn't think about that. That's true.
yeah, it would just be something here. Yeah, I can't wait to see what that means for his.
What is the
next
Ravens
job.
win total entering next year? This year it was 11.5.
9.5. It's got to be at least 9.5, right?
It's got to be at least 9.5. I think that's the starting point. If you bring
Yeah.
in Anthony Weaver, some unproven head coach is 9.5. It could be 10.5. It could be more. They could be right back there if they get the right coach.
Yep. Other coaching news around the league. You mentioned Cliff Kingsbury, who is going to be a hot candidate to take whatever job, whether it's an OC job or a head coaching job. Speaking of OCs, John Morton has been fired by the Lions after just one season as their offensive coordinator. So Ben Johnson leaves, Morton takes over as the OC. Remember, it was a couple of games, midway through the season when Dan Campbell took over play calling
Right.
of the offense from John Morton, and that might have been like the first inclination that, hey, this isn't working out. And John Morton was fired after one season as the offensive coordinator. And then the Cowboys letting go of Matt Eberflus as defensive coordinator. I don't think anybody was shocked by that. The Cowboys defense was putrid this year.
Yeah. I mean, historically bad. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. I'm hearing rumors. I know they're still in the playoffs that the Bears DC might be let go as well.
Who
Dennis
all right.
Allen of Dennis Allen of Saints fame. I kind of what do you think about the Lions firing their OC? My one pushback would be, are they going to have a new OC every year? Like this will be 3 years in a row with a new OC. I know it worked
Yeah.
for the Eagles who won their Super Bowl with a new OC, but it's maybe Dan Campbell should just learn how to call plays. That way you don't. That's the big question, right? Can an offensive coach or a non-offensive coach work with play callers going in and out? So if you become the play caller, you solve that issue.
Well, that's what he did towards the end of the season, but we'll see if that carries over into next year. All right, Mackenzie, the wild card playoff and full playoff trench report is out right now, up on betterday.com, emailed out to Better Day Insider and premium members. This was, okay, when I say whole playoffs, this is what we did for the trench report this week. Yes, we have the breakdown of every game for the wild card round, but I also have the projected playoff bracket based off of the trench advantages. So, yes, the grades might change, but how much are they going to change after like one game in the wild card round, right? They're not going to change for the two teams that aren't playing games in the Broncos and the Seahawks. So
Right.
that's interesting. And then in the trench report, I give you the best value bet to win the Super Bowl, the dark horse candidate to win the Super Bowl, another sleeper play to win the Super Bowl, and the team that you should avoid that is overvalued to win the Super Bowl. I am not going to spill the beans
I
here.
want to know all those things right now.
No. You have to go and, as a Better Day Insider or premium member, you have full access to the Trench Report each and every week. And so I will keep that information for our subscribers.
All right.
But here's what I will tell you going into this wild card playoffs. Here, I have a ranking of every offensive line and defensive line collectively going into the playoffs. So let's unveil that list, Mackenzie. We'll start with, what do you want to start, from the bottom or the top? Where do you want to go?
Let's start with the best defense, the best defensive line.
The best defensive line going
Cleveland Brown. Wait, they're out.
Yeah. The best defensive line in the playoffs heading into the wild card round. The team that is on the bye, the Denver Broncos, the number one composite ranked defensive line in the NFL playoffs. Number two, the Los Angeles Rams.
Really? Okay, I would have guessed the Seahawks.
Number three, the Seattle Seahawks. Number four, the Houston Texans.
Don't tell me San Francisco's last, 14th.
Number five, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, Mackenzie, the San Francisco 49ers are number 14.
Wow.
Worst rated defensive line here in the playoffs.
Our best defensive player, Bryce Huff, is undrafted in his 6th year. So, yeah, we're doing the best we can.
And didn't he come from the Jets?
Yeah, he was just like, Robert Saleh, saw him at the airport. Like, hey, I know you. Come on.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the offensive lines now. The number one offensive line heading into the playoffs.
If it's the Denver Broncos, I think I know your Super Bowl pick.
No.
Okay, it's not the Denver Broncos.
The Buffalo Bills.
You're right. They've been dominant.
Number one offensive line. Number two offensive line, the Los Angeles Rams. Number three, the Chicago Bears. Number four, the Denver Broncos. Number five, Pittsburgh Steelers. And all the way down to number 14, the worst offensive line, here in the playoffs, the Los Angeles Chargers.
The Bears are interesting because I bet they're under win totals, one of my, or picked them anyway, because they had the massive offensive line change. I guess it's worked. Rarely do you get 4 or 5 new guys and make it work, but they've been top 5 all year. So give credit to Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson, obviously.
Yeah, it has worked out. So up on BetterDay.com, as well as emailed to Better Day Insider and Premium members, the Wild Card Weekend matchup analysis. I can tell you right now, we have one significant mismatch. Like
it would have crossed the threshold in a regular season week.
Oh, like it would be the number one mismatch of the week in a regular season week. Yeah, right. we have a pretty significant edge in another game, and we have a very narrow edge in a game.
We know how those underdogs have done in those closely matched lines.
That is very true, Mackenzie. So, and that could happen. And so what I did was, based on the trench advantages, I picked the winner of every game based on the trench advantages. And so we played out how the divisional round will play out. We played out how the championship game would play out, and then how the Super Bowl would play out. I can tell you right now that our projected Super Bowl matchup is an absolute coin flip. So the winning team in the Super Bowl had a 0.7 edge.
So you like projected the whole, like, this is teams are going to make the conference final based on the trench report?
Yep. We projected the whole thing out. So if you want to make your futures bets, you can take a look at who we have based on the trenches, who we think is going to win Super Bowl LX. Right? That's what it is, right? Super Bowl LX.
It's a nice Super Bowl to win.
Right? It's Super Bowl LX, right? You know what still bothers me?
What is that, 60?
That's like crazy, right? Yeah. Super Bowl 60. You know what still bothers me? Is that Super Bowl 55, right? Remember, it was supposed to be in LA, and then the SoFi Stadium wasn't ready. So they moved the game to Tampa, and that's where the Bucs won it on their home.
I do not remember that.
On their home stadium. Wow. Okay.
Yep.
What bothered me was at that time when it was announced that SoFi Stadium would not be ready and therefore SoFi Stadium would host like the next Super Bowl or the one after that, right?
They won the next one, yeah.
They did the year right after, right? Was the SoFi Stadium one?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Rams won in their home stadium back-to-back years. Crazy.
Yeah.
What upset me so much, and I tweeted this out, you can go back and look at my tweets from back in whatever year that was prior to the Super Bowl LV, right? So 2019, even before 2020, like when they made the announcement. The league had an opportunity to put Super Bowl LV in Las Vegas. It was the first year of Allegiant Stadium, right?
Right.
And the marketing just wrote itself. Super Bowl LV, Super Bowl Las Vegas. It was genius.
Welcome
it was
to the
perfect.
NFL, Allegiant Stadium.
It was perfect. But I guess they don't usually like to put Super Bowls in the stadium like the first year or whatever because they need to like work out the kinks or all that stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why Allegiant didn't get the Super Bowl until Super Bowl 58 or whatever it was, a couple years ago.
58,
right?
yep.
Yeah.
Year before last.
So, yeah. And so it just felt like, my goodness, like the incredible marketing opportunity to have Super Bowl LV in Las Vegas. Super Bowl Las Vegas. Just perfect, right? But nope, not the case. I'm still bitter about that. But anyway, Super Bowl futures, you can go bet based off the Trench Report, and we will update it each and every week throughout the playoffs. So if there's any tweaks based off of performance or injuries that happen during the wild card round, we will obviously make those adjustments in the composite scoring system. But we'll see. We know the games are won in the trenches. We will see if championships are won in the trenches as well. A reminder. Throughout the course of the regular season, we started in week number 5, publishing the Trench Report. The top 5 overall mismatches of the week were 51 and 19 straight up. Now, I'd have to go back and do a lot of due diligence in order to figure out what the record was for every single game that had an edge, right? Mm-hmm. Because some of these games in the playoffs don't have that big of edges. They wouldn't be one of the top 5 mismatches of the week. One of them would be, but we'll see how it plays out. And then let's see if there's any significant edges in the division round. There is,
Is it Patriots, Chargers? Don't tell me.
There is actually like some large edges in the divisional round, and then a large edge. Listen, this is going to be interesting. Go to BetterDay.com. If you haven't done so already, sign up, become a Better Day Insider or Better Day Premium member. If you want to give us a trial for 1 month, give us a trial for 1 month. See if you like it. We do a lot of things. It's not just picks. It's articles. It's analysis. We have a community chat where you can participate in groupthink with other Better Day members. And we do live streams all the time.
I think we want to call it wisdom of crowds. Groupthink seems like a bad thing.
I like that. Wisdom of crowds. Yes. Wisdom of crowds. We have exclusive databases and insight that is available only to our Better Day Insider and Premium members, Better Day Premium members. We do live streams as well, Q&As. So check us out. We are more than just picks up on BetterDay.com. And the Trench Report is one of the perks of being a Better Day Insider or Premium member. So check it out. See if you like it. And I can tell you it's going to be really fun to watch this NFL playoffs play out. All right, Mackenzie, let's get into the NBA, the NHL, and a little teaser of what we have coming up for the college football playoff national semifinals.
Every Friday from 6 to 7:30, it's NBA Happy Hour on FanDuel, your pregame for the weekend. We're talking limited time specials you won't want to miss. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all dropping in the app during happy hour. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app to see the week's special. Then, make your move before the shot clock expires at 7:30 Eastern. It's the perfect way to start your weekend. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour, every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 and older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccp.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
NBA last night, Mackenzie, what a gut-wrenching way to lose our best bet last night on the Cavaliers and Pacers game. We had the Pacers team total to go under 115.5. They finished with 116 points. How did that happen? Well, it happened because twice in the closing
10 seconds,
twice the Cavaliers fouled up 3, which put the Pacers on the free throw line, giving them free points. And we don't like giving away.
No.
We don't like free points. There was also a missed free throw by the Cavaliers in the closing 10 seconds, which would have put them up by 4. And if they are up by 4 at that point, it's like, they're not going to foul up 3 because they're up 4, so they're not going to foul, right? So that would have been like a big moment for us if we would have made that free throw. But, it was Craig Porter.
Maybe they would have hit the 3 at the buzzer, the meaningless 3.
Yeah, it's still.
I wasn't counting my money yet.
Listen, it's when you lose a bet that's like by the hook, what are you going to do? Like, the number was right. The number was spot on, right? The sports books listed it at 115.5. They scored 116.
I mean, I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think it was right. I think my bet was right. I think under 115.5, 114.5 was the right bet. They shot 46% from 3. And yet we still won because the handicap was the Cavs. This game means a lot, even though it's against a terrible team, because they're going to represent without Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland's going to, lead the team, and they're going to really care. I felt that in the fourth quarter, and it came down to the wire. We could have nabbed it, but the handicap was that they weren't going to continue shooting 45% from 3. They did. We still almost won.
Well, they did, but then they didn't in the fourth quarter.
Right. They were 15 for 30 through 3 quarters, 50%. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, that at least I have a built-in excuse, right? 1 for 5 in the fourth quarter. When the Cavs buckled down, maybe they should have buckled down in the third. We would have won.
Yep. So good analysis on that one. Elsewhere last night, LeBron scored 30 points as the Lakers beat the Pelicans 111-103. You talked yesterday about, possibly playing a first quarter play. If Zion was playing in this game, Lakers won the first quarter 29-25 last night.
Yeah, it's interesting. They had been bringing Zion off the bench with about 6 minutes to go in the first quarter, which I thought was actually excellent because not only do you get fresh Zion, historically he's way better in the first quarter because he's fat, can't keep his conditioning up that well, but especially against scrubs that are a little bit tired, he was really dominant coming off the bench. They started him in this game, and pretty pedestrian night, 15 points. LeBron, he's putting it together. When the Lakers win, they seem to do so in fantastic fashion. I heard a stat today that blew my mind, which is true because it doesn't change after this game. If you just look at the losses, the points per game in Lakers losses, it would be the worst such mark in NBA history for any team. So they're either winning close games, give LeBron credit, give Luka credit, clutch time, or they're getting absolutely demolished off the floor. So if it's close in the fourth, maybe look at LA.
Okay. Let's take a look at the schedule for tonight in the NBA. All these odds courtesy of our friends over at FanDuel. You have the Raptors -2.5 at the Hornets. The Bulls are at the Pistons. Detroit -10.5. Wizards are at the Sixers. Philadelphia -12. Denver at Boston. Boston -9.5. Pelicans on the second of a back-to-back at Atlanta. Hawks are -9.5. Clippers visit the Knicks. New York -6. Magic are at the Nets. We have Orlando -2. Suns are at the Grizzlies. Phoenix -1. minus 3.5. Utah at OKC. Thunder minus 18.5. Lakers on the second of a back-to-back at the Spurs. San Antonio minus 7.5. Milwaukee at Golden State. Warriors minus 6.5. And the Rockets at the Blazers. Houston minus 6.5. Which of those jump out to you, Mackenzie, as early leans?
I think there might be some hay to make with San Antonio versus LA. San Antonio also on the second night of a back-to-back. But the line tells me there's at least a good chance that either Luka or LeBron doesn't play. I think props will come in, might not be priced accordingly. I'll have to dig into those matchups. But whenever there's like a 50-50 chance of a guy playing, often the props won't really settle to where they should be until it's official.
Okay. In college basketball last night, we had two system plays. We had two unranked home favorites over ranked opponents. Now, if you are listeners to us over the years, you know that this is a trend that we famously crushed it in 2022 when this trend was just lights out. I mean, this was an absolute dominant trend in 2022. But 2023 and 2024, a little bit more pedestrian. The numbers kind of came back to earth over the past couple of years. So this season, home unranked favorites against ranked opponents going into last night were 1-3 straight up and ATS. Last year, 30-20 straight up, but 25-25 ATS. 2023, it was 30-22 straight up, but 26-26 ATS.
Wow.
So it
pushing money around for 2 years.
Yeah, the last 2 years have not been great. 2022 was the dominant year that we, absolutely crushed it, over almost 70% ATS. But the subset that I looked into last night, with Florida being a heavy favorite over Georgia, number 18 Georgia, is that when the line is -8 or higher, going back to 2012, the unranked home favorite that is an 8-point favorite or higher, 9-2 straight up, 7-4 ATS. Now make it 10-2 and 8-4 because Florida took care of Georgia 92-77. The other unranked home favorite was Oklahoma State, who beat number 25 UCF 87-76. So now the trend is 3-3 straight up and ATS this season, with an unranked home favorite taking on a ranked opponent. So the system continues, Mackenzie. We just have to pick our spots accordingly because, like I said, over the past 2 years, it really hasn't been that dominant. We do have a situation tonight where Clemson is -4.5 at home against number 24 SMU.
Can we look at just since 2022? Because a lot of trends are 50-50 over a certain sample. If you give me a 70% for a third of the time, 50% for 2/3 of the time, I'll take that trend all day.
So you want to include 2022?
Include the good year, include the two 50-50 years, and I think we're still in profitable territory.
Yes, of course we're still in profitable because 2022 was such a massive year for us. So since 2022, if you are a home unranked team against an opponent that is ranked in the top 25, let's see, you are 103-58 straight up, 86-74-1 against the spread. So 64% straight up, 54% ATS.
Yeah, I'll take 54%. It's at least pointing me in the right direction.
Yeah, but like I said, like in 2022, we were 76% straight up and 62% ATS. It was 40-13 straight up, 32-20 ATS. It's just amazing. That was a great year for us. But the system lives on tonight. If you want to play it, as I mentioned, Clemson, a home favorite, -4.5 against number 24 SMU. Taking a look at the NHL schedule for tonight, the two teams that we faded on the back-to-back last night went 1-1. The Flyers handled the Ducks, which gave us a win, and then the Kraken got a 7-4 victory over the Bruins, so that one didn't work out for us. It was actually a 2-2 game. I was watching this game, 2-2 in the second period, and the Bruins had a power play, and they were dominating the play. Like, I'm just watching them pepper Joey Decord, and I'm like, all right, we're easily getting this win for the Boston Bruins. And then they give up a goal, and then they take a bad penalty, and the Kraken scored a buzzer beater on the power play to make it a 4-2 game. Like literally, like they had to review it to see if the puck crossed the line before the clock ran out, and it was a buzzer beater, slap shot, one-timer on the power play that made it 4-2 going into the third period, and then it wound up being a 7-4 final. So the back-to-backs went 1-1 for us last night on the ice. Tonight, you got the Stars at the Capitals, Flames at the Canadiens, Blues visit the Blackhawks, Senators are at the Mammoth, and the Sharks visit the Kings. If you're looking for any situations to possibly fade for tonight's action, first off, you can always go to betterday.com as an insider or premium member and click on the NHL tab, and you will see our NHL Game Center powered by our friends over at Handigraphs, which will let you know if any team has an edge over another team in a certain game. But tonight you do have the Sharks playing on the second night of a back-to-back against the Kings. So if you wanted to fade a team on no rest, it would be fading the Sharks, who last night were home and beat the Blue Jackets 5-2. All right, that'll wrap things up for us here. A reminder, you can always check us out on social media, wherever you can find us. At better_day on Twitter is where you'll find us there. Same thing for Instagram. Not on TikTok anymore because they banned us, but we'll get back. Hit me up on Twitter at Scott's On Air. Coming up tomorrow, we will have a fun college football preview of the national semifinal. I have settled on my picks for the two games, Mackenzie. But guess what? I will also have prop bets as well, because I dove into some of the props for the college football playoff national semifinals, and there are some interesting angles to attack in the prop market, so you're not going to want to miss that episode and newsletter coming up tomorrow. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.